Well, today we're excited to welcome two of the newest additions to the Twin Cities and to the Timberwolves family, veteran forward Taj Gibson and all-star point guard Jeff Teague. Taj is known for his toughness and defensive presence. He thrived under head coach Tom Thibodeau for 5 seasons with the Chicago Bulls, including finishing as the runner-up for the NBA's 6th Man of the Year award in 2014. In 8 seasons, Taj has career averages of 9 points, 6 rebounds, while blocking over a shot per game. Jeff Teague has been one of the top point guards in the NBA over his 8 seasons. An all-star in 2015, Jeff has career averages of 13 points and nearly 6 assists per game, and this past season with the Pacers averaged a career best 7.8 assists per contest. One of the most durable point guards in the league, Jeff has only missed 17 games over the last 5 seasons, and he played and started in all 82 games a season ago. Together, Taj and Jeff, they've combined to appear in the playoffs in 15 of a possible 16 seasons, and they've combined for 127 playoff appearances. To tip off today's press conference, we'll start with a few words from Timberwolves head coach and president of basketball operations, Tom Thibodeau. Then we'll hear from general manager Scott Layden, followed by some comments from both Jeff and Taj, and then we'll open it up to some questions from the assembled media. Coach?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today, and obviously we're very excited to have both Jeff and Taj join our team. We were talking earlier today about Jeff in the 2010-11 season in a game that he played against the Bulls. It was late in the season, and he wasn't playing a lot at that particular time, but he came into this game. It was a blowout win for the Bulls, and he scored 20 points in the 4th quarter. And so that got my attention. And then I went into the locker room after the game, and we were talking about Jeff Teague. And I said, it's going to be a problem. And Taj will tell you it was a problem. We ended up playing them in the playoffs. And he had 3 games in which he scored 20 points against us. And he was very, very difficult to guard. But the big thing about both these guys is the fact that they've been in a number of playoff games, big playoff games, conference finals, and things like that. They're both winners. With Jeff, 2 years ago, they had the best record in the NBA. When you look back over the past 5 years, he's always at the top of the league in terms of penetration into the paint. He's one of the best at it, at finishing. High pick and roll execution, both with his shot and his ability to make plays. I think one of the most difficult guys in the league to guard in high pick and rolls. So those were some of the things that we thought would be very helpful to us with Carl and obviously Jimmy and Andrew, is putting him in pick and roll situations. But the fact that he's got great veteran experience, his ability to run the team and execute pick and rolls, and all the things that he'll bring in terms of leadership, his ability to play with the pace, push the ball up the floor, and he's very unselfish. He's a pass-first point guard. And of course with Taj, we think he's the elite defender in the league in terms of big guys. He can guard all 5 positions. He has the ability to switch on to point guards, 2s, and guard those guys extremely well. He can star in any role that you give him. You can start him, you can bring him off the bench. He's great in the 4th quarter, brings the team a lot of toughness, and also a big winner. Jeff has made the playoffs every season that he's played in the league, and Taj has made the playoffs in 7 of the 8 seasons that he's played in the league. So we're thrilled to have him, and we're looking forward to the challenge ahead.
This is another exciting day for our franchise to bring these 2 guys with our team, and we're very, very excited. We're excited to have Jeff's family here as well, so welcome. Also, J.R. Hensley, Jeff's agent, is here joining us, so welcome, J.R. Bringing these 2 guys to our team is going to add a lot because of their experience, their leadership. You know, Jeff playing in we're going to mention it over and over again, playing in the 66 playoff games, that experience is going to help all of us greatly Also Taj playing in 61, 127 playoff games, really jumped off the page. The other thing about Jeff is his unselfish play. The way he finds other people, makes other players better, that is a contagious part of the game, players that pass the ball. So that is going to help us a great deal. And then, of course, Taj's toughness and defensive prowess is going to add to this group a great deal. So welcome, guys, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be here. It's a great opportunity. It's a young team. I was excited watching them play last year with Cat and Wiggins and Gorgie. They had some tough battles against them last year. So coming to this team with Jimmy and Taj being part of it, and Jamal, I believe, too, it's going to be a huge opportunity for us. I know the West is going to be tough, but I think we're building a team right now where we can really compete. And being in the playoffs every year of my career, I expect nothing less but making it next year.
Well, first off, I'm excited to be here. It's a great young team, great organization, first class. Playing against this team, an organization for a long time, and it always just stuck out to me. Just blessed to be in this position, blessed to be with my old coach again. It's a lot of great battles, looking forward to having some more great battles, especially with the young talent. I'm just here to just do my job and help the young guys grow. But the main thing is bring a winning mentality to this organization and just do the right thing.
We'll open it up to some questions now. A reminder, we do have some microphones being passed around, so remember to state your name and your affiliation before asking your question. Jerry?
Excuse me, Jerry's the Garden Star Tribune. Taj, let's start with the obvious one. How much did the years spent with this guy and the relationship built to affect your decision?
Well, it was big. He really helped jump my career. He believed in me when a lot of people really didn't. Just the work ethic and the battles that we went through. We still have a lot of unfinished business, especially with this young team. It just jumped off the page to me to this a lot of things that can really come and become something special.
Jace Frederick, Pioneer Press. This one's for Taj and Jeff. Might have been looking at this team beforehand, but once they acquired Jimmy Butler in that draft night trade, did that really kind of seal the fact for you that this is a team that you could come to and win with?
For me, definitely. You can ask my agent, J.R. Hensley. When the trade went down, I said, I want to go to Minnesota. He was like, are you sure? We can, all right. And then he's like, I'll call you back. And then that special day on July 1st, man, it all came together.
For me, either way, I always felt a connection with the coaching staff. Everybody was over here already, and it's really like family, so it wasn't a real hard decision for me. I just wanted to get back with the guys I was around for a long time and help me be the player I'm capable of being.
Joe Schmidt from 5 Eyewitness News. This is for Jeff and for Coach. How long do you realistically expect to kind of meld together with, at least 4 new players and a whole new team that you'll be playing with, leading as, as point guard or as guard, and Tibbs kind of the same way? How are you going to meld these guys together in a short period of time?
Well, being a point guard, you got to be a leader on the floor and off the court. So I'm one of those guys that like to get the group going out and going out to eat and things like that off the floor to get used to one another. But we have to try to make it work in training camp. Go hard at each other, but continue to grow as a family. And preseason is going to be big for us. A lot of guys take it lightly, but it's going to be a challenge for us so we can group and become one on the court. And we got a lot of talented guys and some veteran guys who've been in some wars, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be our biggest challenge is how quickly can we all get onto the same page. And so we'll bring everyone back right after Labor Day, get to know each other in the fall before we start training camp. And then hopefully when we hit training camp, we have a good understanding of what the base of the offense is, what the base of the defense is. And then, of course, we have the trip to China this year, which I think will be a big plus in terms of team building and bonding.
Darren Wolfson from Channel 5 for Scott and Tom. Can you expound on playoff experience? I think among the 4 veterans you're bringing in, I think it's 27 years of playoff experience. how key was that as you were evaluating the free agent class and what you wanted to add to this
Well,
roster?
I think it's a big part because and it's more all the steps that you take along the way. It's the winning, and I think when you look at Jeff's career, 2 years ago they had the best record in the league. He's been in the conference finals. They've advanced past the first round several times. Taj, the same thing. I think there are 2 years where he had the best record in the NBA, and then of course going deep into the playoffs several times. I think that's important. So and these guys, I don't think you can measure them by their statistics, their individual statistics. I think you measure them by what they do for their team. And they both prioritize winning. They both put the team first, and that's what we're looking for. It's the winning that matters. And so when you could add those type of veterans, I think that goes a long way.
You know, when you play in April, May, and June, those guys that are playing in those months have a lot of character, and there's a lot of toughness that goes into getting to that moment. And so when you look at how much playoff experience these two guys have, they have been through some unbelievable games, and it really tests how tough you are and how much work you put in to get to that moment. And so I think that will help our other guys understand what it takes to get to those places.
Britt Robson with MinPost. This is for Jeff. You shot 40% from 3 2 years ago. It was your highest volume of attempts. People look at this roster and they would say perhaps one of the weaknesses right now is there's not a great depth in terms of quality volume three-point shooters. Is this something that both that you're going to re-emphasize in your game coming in, and how important is the long-range three-pointer, do you think, to this roster?
Definitely. Practicing every day in the gym, working, getting back to that 40% mark. But the game has changed. A lot of three-point shots is being taken now, and I think everybody's going to have to work on their game and expand their game. I think everybody has the capability to do it. I know Jimmy's a capable shooter, Andrew's a capable shooter, and I've seen Carl make some amazing shots playing against us a couple of times. So we all just got to continue to keep working on our game, and we'll be better shooters this year.
Kind of off of that, Jeff, Tibbs obviously talked about your ability to play in that pick and roll, but how comfortable are you playing off the ball as well, you know, when maybe Jimmy's initiating the offense or Andrew?
I dealt with it in my past season with Paul being able to handle the ball and Lance coming to our team. I'm comfortable playing any position on the floor that I need to be played in. Like he said, working on my shot and shooting a higher percentage this year, hopefully, and that's going to play a big part.
Taj, you and Jimmy come in knowing exactly what this guy wants from years of being with him. How much can two guys change a culture?
Just by being yourself. We already got strong character, group of guys. So just being yourself, bringing the work ethic, being through it, already knowing what he wants and how he likes it. But Tibbs not one of those coaches that's going to really just drive you into the ground. You do your work, he lets you get days off. That's one of the main things about being here. Like, he knows how to really monitor the players, but he knows he wants perfection, and that's the only thing about it.
Taj, Joe Nelson from GoMN.com. You had a cup of coffee in the Western Conference last year with Billy Donovan and OKC. Was it a noticeable change or difference in the schedule a team in the West plays versus the East? And now when you look at the West, what do you think?
Well, compared to the East, you really knew your games where you had some tough ones, but you knew the games where you had to win. On the West, it's kind of it's so much firepower on the West, but there's no nights off. And I think being here and being around with Tibbs and having a great group of guys, just having that mentality, just getting back to being day one guys and being strong-minded and putting the work in with a young group of guys that we have, I think it's something special. We just got a special group of guys and ready to get the job done.
Jeff, you were one of the first players to agree to a deal in free agency. You talked about reaching out to JR on draft night and saying you wanted to come to Minnesota. With 30 different teams in the league, why were you so sure that this is where you wanted to be?
First, I seen the roster, and I know those guys are really talented. And then having an opportunity to play against Tibbs and seeing how hard he pushes guys and how well coached each of his teams were, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. Then when I got on the phone and was able to talk to these guys and seeing how everything was coming together, then getting here and seeing the facilities, they're amazing. It was a perfect fit for me. And at this stage of my career, wanting to win and wanting to do it in a special way. And I think what would be more special to bring some playoff atmosphere back here.
Jeff, what do you attribute the durability to, particularly playing the position that you do?
Eating right, really just working on my core strength, and I stopped dunking, less twisting ankles like that.
Tibbs, with all the changes on the team, the fans are now expecting 50-win seasons. Are you going to try to manage the expectations of the fans, or do you want them to relish in this?
Yeah, and we embrace whatever expectations are coming our way. I think it's important for us not to get lost in what the expectations are. The important thing is what we're doing each and every day. If we're taking care of all the things we need to take care of, concentrating every day, putting everything we have into each and every day, the results are going to take care of themselves. So we have to do it every day. We can't talk about things, we have to do it.
Tom, in free agency, you guys have brought in a number of veterans. Is it, this is kind of probably too simplistic, but is it just easier to coach a team when you have so many guys who have done it and probably know what to expect and know what it takes to win, like you've talked about in the past?
Well, I think you want to have a blend, but the most important thing is to have good players. And so whether they're young, in the middle, or at the end, just have good players, have players that are willing to play for each other, put the team first, play to their strengths, cover up their weaknesses, and play to win. And so that's what we're trying to do. And as I mentioned earlier, I think what players do, and as Jeff mentioned and Taj mentioned, they look around at free agency, they look at the teams and the players that they have, and then they see how they fit into that. And I think it's very attractive to players in the league when you have a guy like Jimmy, you have a guy like Carl, a guy like Andrew, and then you plug these two guys in. It's a lot. So I think it is attractive to players.
For Scott and Tom, if you can, in all of your years in the NBA, have you ever been through an off-season like this where you're adding this many different pieces to a roster and a lot of big names as well?
Well, I think the big thing, last year was unusual in the sense that everyone had money. And there were guys that we went after that we didn't get, but we didn't want to box ourselves in because we knew this year would be different. There would be less money involved, and there would be better players that might be available to us. So we didn't box ourselves in, and we felt we were positioned well. The growth of the young guys was important for us last year, building the foundation. That was the start. But then to have the flexibility to go out and add the right veterans to the group was also important. So we felt very fortunate to be able to get these guys.
The opportunity to get a point guard like Jeff, of course Jimmy, a great wing, and Taj, a great big, in one off season really we feel very fortunate about that. And most off seasons you don't get an opportunity to bring in that many players who have played at a high level. So this we feel that so far so good, but we still want to continue to get better and just keep working at making the team better the best we can.
Last one.
Jeff, Tibbs has talked about unsuccessfully trying to stop you and Al Horford in the high pick and roll when you were both at Atlanta. How much do you expect to be able to work that with Mr. Towns now?
I expect it to work great, and I expect it to be just as good as it was in Atlanta for me and Al. He's a really talented player. He can do a lot of things on the floor. He can shoot the ball. He can score at will. So it's going to make my job a lot easier, him being able to do the things that he can do. Also, Taj and Jimmy and Andrew having the ability to come set pick and rolls and roll and make plays. So we have a talented group all across the board. And like you said, the expectations are high, and we expect to play well.
All right, thank you for all the questions. We'll now have a photo opportunity with the guys, and then they'll be available for one-on-ones. Thanks for attending today's event.